Nigel here with the Drivewire, and this is the 2021, the latest version of Subaru's Crosstrek, which, according to Subaru, is their most off-roaded car. It doesn't sell as many as the Outback, but is the one that most people take on truck trails and out into the wilderness more than any other of their cars. Actually, Subarus are taken more often than most other manufacturers as well. So certainly owners of this vehicle and others in the Subaru line are looking for a little bit of adventure. It's a great car too. The short wheelbase helps it off-road. We took a little bit of footage earlier. Prices start around $22,200 for the base version. There's a base premium, which gives you a few extra goodies. Then there's a sport. Base price on this limited is $27,000. I still think that is a great deal. And it's a funky, quirky, super cool looking car. For 2021, Subaru has added these really nice wheels. Okay, some minor changes at the front include this new treatment here. Headlights pretty much the same. It's got these spots at the bottom here. It actually looks really cool. I like it. So the rugged theme continues at the back. It's got this black sort of rubberized treatment here behind the lights. These cool rear headlights here. I think it's a great little car. It really looks kind of cool. Back, it's a little bit smaller, obviously, than an Outback, and also its sister Forester vehicle. It's about 22 cubic feet in here. It has this rubberized mat. It has a luggage cover. You do actually get a spare, which is nice, donut style, space saver. But you can get a little bit more room if you put the seats down. Pretty easy procedure to do. You obviously remove the luggage cover. I'm going to leave it there for now. Put this one down, real super easy. This one goes down too, real easy. Load space is fairly flat. There's a little bit of a step up here, but this gives you 52 cubic feet of space. It's pretty roomy in the back too. This is the position where my seat would go, and I got quite a lot of space. This seat's a little bit further back. Room for 3 across the back. Middle seat passengers get a little bit less headroom. And the only downside, really, this is a limited model, but there are no rear vents, which is tough on rear seat passengers. And also, if you fold the seats down and you throw your dogs in the back, all the air's got to come all the way from the front. So a bit of a miss there, I think, certainly on the limited model, maybe on the sport. Rear vents could have been included, but these seats aren't bad. These are the plastic sort of wipe down sort of feel to these rear seats, so any messes are easily cleaned up. All right, under the hood you get Subaru's trusty Boxer 4 engine, which is pretty rock solid. Be careful though, on the 2 base models you only get the 2-liter engine, naturally aspirated. Only has 152 horsepower, 145 foot-pounds of torque. It isn't enough to really get this car going. I would steer clear, find the money somewhere and step up to the sport, sell a kidney, something along those lines. Just kidding. And that one has, and this car, which is the limited, has the 2.5-liter engine. So still a 4-cylinder, still naturally aspirated, but it has 182 horsepower, 174 foot-pounds. Those foot-pounds kick in around 4,000 RPM, but this car doesn't weigh much, 3,300 pounds, so it gets along quite nicely, and it's driven through, not my favorite, a CVT. Subaru call it a Lineartronic. It's not bad. It tries to mimic an 8-speed. It comes with paddle shifters, bizarrely, so if you do put it in manual mode, you can see all of the 8 speeds and you can toggle through with paddle shifters, but it's better to leave it in automatic. And surprisingly, the bigger engine is more economical, both city and highway driving, probably because you got to flog the 2-liter base engine almost to death to get the best out of it. All right, so we have found a hill and we're taking the car up there. We got it in X mode. Let's go. Yeah, good stuff. couple of bits of wheel spin, but not a problem, even on street tires. Came up here okay. I feel like it should be fine going down here. There's no control for changing the speed of hill descent. The system just automatically decides how steep the hill is and moderates the speed accordingly. You can hear the brakes doing their work here. Doesn't make anywhere near the noise that a Toyota makes. Makes it sound like it's about to destroy itself. Super soft, very sandy-like, which is a good test for this car. Pretty good. Did it lift its wheel?
Yep.
I can't feel it.
You're not supposed to.
Okay.
Totally did though.
Wow. I got a whole cloud of shit coming in the car. Now we've had a little bit of fun off-road. Let's see how it is on-road, on pavement, and we're also gonna, before we start, test it to see how quick it is from 0 to 60. So we'll just put the timing gear there, and off we go. So I'd like to see it do 0 to 60 in less than 7.8 seconds. That would be nice. Anything less than 8 seconds I will deem to be slow. So if this thing can't do that, then that'll be somewhat of a shame. So we'll probably launch it, obviously traction control off. There is no launch control in this car. It's just foot on the brake. It'll probably rev to around 2,500, and then off the brake and see how quick or slow it ends up being. I've driven it a little bit on road already, and it's actually quite a nice little car. It definitely has enough power. Now that it has 30 horsepower more than the outgoing model, it definitely feels a little zippier. It's pretty quick. Off the line. There's no turbos, there's no lag. It just sort of goes. I think it's quicker than a Golf R from 0 to 15 miles an hour. After that, it gets stomped on. But yeah, those Golf Rs tend to have that lag and they just don't get off the line. There's a throttle tip in. This thing just darts away. This cabin is super light and airy. It's got big windows, plenty of light coming in. It's a nice place to be. Steering is quite light, which helps for off-roading. It stays fairly light even at speeds. There's no variable ratio on the steering, which is fine. I mean, it's a $30,000 car after all. But yeah, it's not bad around town. You know, if it made a better noise than this sort of buzzy wind-up toy noise that it makes, I would say I'd be on the slightly below impressed. I like the car. I think it's a great little car. It just, that CVT is just annoying. And then also what I'm going to do is turn off the AC. So I'm going to get a little hot for a while. But we want all the power, all the 182 horsepower that we can get. So let me turn it off. And we're just going to dive in right here and see how we do. Control off. It says it's off. Stop start off, because we don't want it to stop. And then off we go. Not exactly a Formula One start, but it's making its way slowly to 60, foot flat. All right. .5 seconds. Yes. I don't know. It's weird, but I'm kind of impressed with that. The humble Subaru Crosstrek 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds. That's not bad. I remember the original 6-cylinder Outback was 0 to 60 in 7.2 with a lot more horsepower. So I think the trick there was to turn off the AC. I think I got a little bit of extra zip out of it. Now I've been hammering this car, as you can tell, all week, and I'm still averaging 22.6 miles to the gallon, so expect to get 30, 31 on a long run on a highway. Suspension feels a tad soft, but I think that will help you off-road, be a little bit more compliant. Now these tires are all season, they're pretty grippy, particularly in the dry. It obviously doesn't rain here very often, so I haven't had a chance to test it out in the wet. Yeah, it turns in really nicely. I haven't really felt any understeer. Brakes are pretty good too. All right, a little bit up here. I'm going to take it on a little off-road bit that's kind of good for rallying. All right, we're going to get onto some little bit of rough pavement up here to cut through. And we're going to see how well this thing does. I think on this section, to iron out the bumps, it's better to go faster. Speed is the only way to go over these bumps. It seems to be working. But too crazy because I don't want to have a puncture down here. I've only got a donut in the back. See some of the traction control kicking in here. A little bit of slip on the front, so the back kicked in a little. This car does great. It really does. Here we are at the end. We had a good time in this car. It is a great, fun, cool little car, both on and off-road. Would I buy one? You know what? With the bigger engine, I probably might. And I would certainly recommend it to anybody that's looking for a cheaper, economical, fun little car that will pretty much go anywhere. And it's a really good little car for a budget. It's nicely made. It's super reliable. And I don't think you can go wrong with this car. Before I drove it, I thought, you know, I see a lot of people buy these. They have no interest in speed. Obviously, I like a car that's a little quicker, but this is not bad at all. So at least go down and check one out, because this is a great little car. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, make some comments. Let me know what you think.